something's happening.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
So the much rumored Cybertruck is finally reaching a point that it's going to reach customers' hands very, very shortly. Here are the 5 steps that cars have to go through to go from design to deliveries to customers. Design is number 1, prototype, testing and validation, production and deliveries. And I think we're very close to that last step given a lot of the movement that's been happening as of late around social media and some of the pictures that we're seeing. Now, during Tesla's quarterly earnings call about 2 weeks ago, there were images outlining the Cybertruck going through testing. This is going through some water testing. Here's going through some mud testing, I guess. It's going to be an off-road vehicle, so they want to make sure it holds up well in those environments as well. And then we also have a video where they give us a tease all the way back on April 1st of this year. Here's a quick snippet from that video. And so we know Tesla is going through a lot of testing, and during that same call, that quarterly earnings call for the second quarter, we started getting some pictures around RC units. RC stands for release candidate, and you can see here that they have some equipment, and you have a Cybertruck with a lot of castings going through the line. You also have a picture with a lot of the workers and the first RC unit from Tesla, the first release candidate. And during that same call, Elon Musk said that Tesla had 4 RC candidates already built. So they went from 1 candidate on the slides to having 4. And since then, we've had even more release candidates showing up. Here's a picture from a couple of days ago of 9 what I'm guessing is Cybertrucks. That cover makes it so hard to figure out what kind of car it is, but it's pretty obvious we have 9 Cybertrucks here. And what's interesting is yesterday we started getting some footage of Cybertrucks going across the country. This is a picture of Cybertrucks going through Tucson, Arizona. There were 3 different carriers, and just a few minutes before I started recording this video, we got confirmation that these carriers arrived at Tesla's Fremont factory. So you can see here you got 1 carrier, 2 carriers, and 3 carriers. So there's 3 carriers went from Tesla Gigafactory, Texas to Fremont, California. So the question becomes, why are they there? Probably for some additional testing, but we have 9 separate Cybertrucks now in Fremont arriving there literally just minutes ago, which if you're following this story very closely, this is super exciting news. It means that Tesla is really far along in their testing and potentially production process. We also have footage of the Cybertruck in New Zealand. There were about 5 Cybertrucks there. This is dated August 11th. So we know that there's been 5 Cybertrucks driving around New Zealand, probably for snow testing and ice testing since at least a week ago. Then we also have Cybertrucks on a trailer going up through Illinois. God knows where these are going. The rumor is these might be going to some sort of crash test facility or EPA where they test the efficiency and the range and all that stuff of the trucks. Maybe those cars are going there, or maybe they're going to Detroit to shoot some sort of ad or something. That a lot of thoughts there. I have some thoughts I want to share with you there. But then you also have 2 different Cybertrucks going up north in the country and going who knows where. Then we also have this unit out in California that's driving around that has an F-150 skin. So if we get a little bit closer, that's what that looks like. And of course, it looks absolutely ridiculous, but they're doing that, and God knows what they're doing with that unit. Then we have another unit at Gigafactory, Texas, where the car's driving around. I'll show you a little bit of that footage from Joe Tegmeyer. Thank you, Joe, for putting this together. And we also have some up-close details from the truck that gives us a lot of clues that these units are pretty much ready for final testing and going out to customers. Before I show you those detailed pictures, here's what the tire size is going to be for the Cybertruck. I think this is probably one of the very first confirmations we have of this. It's a 285-65R20 size. If I do a quick search on Tire Rack, you can see that this Michelin Defender, same exact size. This is a highway all season. This tire will run for about $430 per tire, $1,700 for a set. And then this Falcon, however you pronounce it, this is an off-road all-terrain. This is $440 per tire, and a set will cost you about $1,700. In case you're looking to purchase this car, these are what the tire sizes look to be in the future. Maybe not super finalized, but I would be surprised if it veers away from this size. We would have some up-close pictures of the suspension. Feel free to pause the video here and kind of provide some detail that you see in the comment section below. So this is what it looks like. Then you also have the tow hitch from the back. You can see some of the stuff there. Looks like there's the plug. And obviously you have the tow hitch there, right there as well. Then you have some detailed pictures from the interior. You can see a lot of the trim. Looks to be pretty done. A lot of grime and dirt and stuff from folks working in it, obviously. But the seat covers are covered. So the question becomes, why will they cover the seats? Probably because they're done and they're just going through the final testing. And if we zoom into the steering wheel and screen and the dash and whatnot, you can see that a lot of this trim looks pretty done. This is what the steering wheel is going to look like. It looks like we have some buttons there and scroll wheels. Here's the screen. You have Alcantara, looks like, on that dash. Maybe some here as well, perhaps not. And then here's the undercarriage, super smooth. Looks pretty done to me. I don't see anything that's really flappy or anything. These look to be pretty finalized units. And if you tally all those up, I think there's about 10 to 15 Cybertruck release candidates. And so given all this data, I'm pretty confident in saying that we're really exiting this testing and validation phase, and we're now in earnest entering the production phase and then start delivering these suckers to customers. If you're enjoying this content so far, I would love it if you throw me a like. What are those things? What are those primary things that are holding up deliveries most likely at this time? Crash safety testing with the IIHS. So this one's obviously a huge one. The US has to give the green light to Tesla that they can start selling these to customers, and they need the units on hand to ensure that whatever Tesla's claiming for a safety perspective is actually true. Then you also have the EPA ratings as well that have to be done. This is where the government will basically tell a consumer how efficient the car is and how much range the car gets. This is obviously another thing where Tesla can't just tell the customer what it is. They have to go through an agency, and the agency has to approve those numbers before they can start selling to customers. And then as they go through the finalized production, they will need to make sure to validate just the little things in there like harnesses and trims and panel alignments and gaps and all these things. So these are things that they'll smooth out as they go through the production process. But that, of course, is going to be part of these units being produced, and probably more of those units being produced here in the next couple of days. It also makes sense for Tesla to put some promotional materials together where they can have Cybertrucks ready, the pictures and the videos once they flip the switch, and they can be like, hey, look at this triangle, come buy it. And maybe they'll have that ad over there in Detroit where they'll show it, behind the F-150 and the Ram and all those cars, a Silverado, and be like, look at this American truck. Who knows? That's just my guess. I don't know. But it seems like if it's up there by Illinois, it's either going to be going to a crash test facility, an EPA facility, or likely for promotional materials in Detroit. But it is important to keep in mind that even though we seem to be quite far ahead in the development of Cybertruck, in my opinion, a little bit quicker than I expected once they started showing the slides during the earnings call, but there could still be a lot of snags. You have to keep in mind that this car is brand new. It's never been done before. You can just see it from a picture. If I re-show this picture, you can see how not just ridiculous it looks when you put it side by side, at least with the skin, but you can see that there's a lot of stuff that's going to be new that's going to go into the car. So because of that, Tesla could hit a lot of snags as they go through this process, which could slow them down. But then you also have to remember that the Cybertruck is also going to have a lot less stuff than your traditional truck and car that, say, a legacy automaker from Ford, GM, or whoever else would be making. Some of these things are no paint shops, so you can see from a lot of the pictures that the Cybertruck has no paint, and that's how they will be shipping it to the consumer, to the customer, which removes a giant step out of the equation where Tesla doesn't have to install all the paint equipment, they don't have to test the paint, they don't have to make sure it fits within regulations that are in Texas or wherever else they put that paint shop. So it removes a giant step out of the equation. It also has a lot of castings, so the front, rear, the bed, all these things are now going to be made with castings instead of a bunch of different materials and pieces, which is going to dramatically reduce the piece count, and it's going to remove complexity from the manufacturing process. You also have the latest generation processes that Tesla has implemented from the learnings of the S, the X, the 3, and the Y, and now with the Cybertruck, it's going to have the best of everything put into that truck, plus all the new stuff that they're working on. And one of the ways to really show this is with the Cybertruck going to the 48-volt architecture, which moves away from the 12-volt architecture. You can see that you have a lot of wires and stuff and bits that are now removed, which again removes complexity from ramping the car and getting it out to customers' hands. And so with all these things combined, even though it's a bunch of new stuff, the new stuff should dramatically reduce parts and steps that you need to diagnose as you ramp these cars to get ready to deliver it to customers. So you lose on one side, but theoretically you gain on the other side. And with all this in mind, if Tesla is able to execute at a high level with high execution, Cybertruck could ramp faster than any vehicle in Tesla's history, because you're removing such huge parts of the process in the paint shop and the castings and all these things. Getting it started might be difficult. It's been 4 years since they initially unveiled the car in November of 2019. Plus, we had COVID, but you would think during that 4-year period, Tesla would have figured out how to work through a lot of these little things that Cybertruck is going to give them a challenge with. And so in theory, if those 4 years were productive and they're ready to launch this to customers from Cybertruck 1 to Cybertruck 100,000, that line could be much faster than any other car that they've built in the past. But there's going to be a lot of variables that they're going to have to navigate through, with battery availability, making sure that all the things they thought was going to work actually works, and an endless list of things that Tesla has to work through. However, with all that said, with all the data that we have right now with the Cybertruck, where it is, where they seem to be in the process of getting the car ready, one of the predictions I made on X, used to be Twitter, was that the delivery event would be on September 28th. And I'm going to hold to that. Probably I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to hold to that date. My guess is September 28th. And this is official. It's out there now. So if I'm wrong, y'all can make fun of me. But I think September 28th is going to be the launch date, the first deliveries of Cybertruck, probably to employees first. September 28th, I think they'll deliver 10 to 20 Cybertrucks to the first 20 customers. And then from that point forward, we'll see a ramp. And then as that ramp happens, we're going to see a lot of materials. We're going to see a lot of videos, a lot of pictures, a lot of reviews potentially as these trucks make it to publications' hands like Motor Trend, so on and so forth. But this date is about a month and a half away. And so in the comment section below, let me know, do you think this is very optimistic? Do you think I'm way off? And I would love to hear your predictions in the comment section below as far as how many units Cybertruck will sell this year, or let's say Tesla will deliver to customers this year, and how many they'll sell next year. If you'd like to support the channel, super easy, just click subscribe for me. About 69% of you are not subscribed, and that's completely okay. I really appreciate you stopping by and watching my videos. But if you'd like to support the channel, all you have to do is click subscribe. And if you want to go above and beyond, I have a link to my merch in the description below for the Robots Are Coming merch line. And I also have a link for a coupon for Athletic Greens, which is a supplement that I take every single day. You'll get free travel packs and vitamin D with your purchase. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was informative and helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.